Hey guys, my name is Zanik and welcome back to my channel. Today is day 16 of the Diabetes Journey Challenge, and today we'll be looking at diabetes technologies both here and in the US. Based on my experience living in St. Lucia, we are very limited in terms of our access to more advanced diabetes technologies. For the most, I will tell you, I have a sugar meter which allows me to check my sugars, and on my phone, I have a diabetes tracker app where you input your different figures, your blood pressure numbers, your weight, your different medications, and you also put in a log of your daily sugar readings. It automatically puts it into a graph and a table. It shows you when you've had a spike, at what point in the day, and it's great for keeping track of your diabetes. So today we are fortunate enough to have a guest speaker, Tori, who is a St. Lucian living abroad who was kind enough to share with us his diabetes technologies. Stay
Good day.
tuned.
My name is Tori. I am 32 years old and have been living with type 1 diabetes since 2005. Today, I'll be talking to you about technology and diabetes. And we'll be exploring a bit of some of the technology that I have access to, being a resident of the US as well as having health insurance that persons in places such as St. Lucia may not necessarily be able to get their hands on, or it would otherwise cost them an arm and a leg to do so. Uh, um, right now, I use the insulin pump and what we call a continuous glucose monitoring system. So the continuous glucose monitoring system that I depend on is the Dexcom G6. Now, this is the box for the what they call the applicator. This is the device that allows you to attach the Dexcom to your skin. And I actually have one right here. Okay, this is my Dexcom. This requires changing every 10 days. I think I'm probably about day 8 or so into mine. And yeah, it's extremely convenient. The primary thing that I love about it is just the instant vision of your blood sugar reading. So the Dexcom G6, what it does is it actually takes a reading every 5 minutes. And I mean, the reading might be a little bit delayed, in terms of time frame, but it does a very good job at letting you know when you're going too high, if you're dropping too low. It tracks it beautifully for you. You can see this is my 24-hour reading graph, and the past couple of weeks I've been a little ill, and my sugars have been kind of riding in the 200s. So what I did is, and we'll talk about the pump in a bit, but I just had to adjust my pump settings. And as you can see, the past 24 hours, it's been a bit more controlled. This dark area here tells me that I'm right in the range of where I want to be, which is between 70 and 120. Um, and yeah, I can be asleep. It will beep and beep and beep until I give it attention to let me know that my sugar is either too high or too low and needs attention. And despite being a heavy sleeper, my wife is right there, and you better believe I'll get that nudge like, babe, check it out, like it's beeping, and yeah. So it's definitely handy. Next up, the other piece of technology that I depend on for management of my diabetes is my insulin pump. And I use the T Slim, the tandem T Slim pump. And actually keep it right here on my waist. Looks like a little pager, and this takes the convenience of giving yourself insulin to a whole other level. Um, the way the pump works is, instead of using the classic long acting mixture with the fast acting insulin whenever you take a meal, it actually gives me a continuous dose of insulin, a tiny dose every 5 minutes. That's called the basal rate, and that replaces that long acting insulin. It more or less acts like a regular person, a person without insulin, how their body behaves. You know, their pancreas typically providing insulin in small doses to keep your sugar stable. And what happens is, when I'm eating, and I mean, I actually ate something about half an hour ago, very convenient. I hit the dosage button, and what happens is, it actually communicates directly with the Dexcom G6, and it's able to say, well, listen, this is your current blood sugar reading, this is how much insulin you currently have in your system. So typically what that does is, it'll actually automatically adjust the insulin rate to make sure that I don't kind of give myself too much and cause myself to go too low. Or if, let's say, the amount of insulin in my system was too low versus my current reading, if my sugar was, let's say, 250, and I only had like 1 unit of insulin in my system at the time, I have a correction rate of 1 unit for every 6 points of glucose, and that this system will automatically calculate based off of my current blood sugar. I need to take an additional X amount of units of insulin to bring me to what we call that safe zone where I want to be. Then I plug in the actual carbs for the meal that I'm about to consume. So let's say I'm about to have maybe a cup of cocoa, 2 slices of some bread, 35 grams of carbs. It'll actually, based off of my current insulin to carb ratio, it'll automatically estimate how much insulin I should be giving myself. Insulin is actually stored inside of the pump, an internal reservoir, and it's attached to me by this lead right here. Attaches directly to my body, and this is how insulin is delivered. So no more having to prick yourself 3 to 5 times a day. You simply just apply this, which needs to be changed once every 3 days, and you're good to go. This is my T Slim, and that's how it works with the G6 continuous glucose monitoring system. In addition, it actually has this new technology called, I think it's Smart IQ technology. And what it does is, if it sees that my blood sugar is going too high, like above 200, which is my high range warning, it'll actually automatically apply an additional dose of insulin to my basal in an attempt to bring it back down. And on the flip side, if my sugar starts dropping too low, it will choose to either reduce the amount of basal that I'm getting, or cut it off entirely to help prevent or eliminate the possibility of going low. Very often, I'm able to not have to drink any juice, but just wait, and it'll ride back up on its own. So yes, this is the beauty of technology as it is. Greatest downside, of course, being the cost. Thanks to insurance, it does make it more manageable. Without insurance, I mean, even the insulin on its own, we're looking at about maybe $500-600 every month to month and a half. And this equipment, a pack of 3 of these guys, I want to say runs for almost $400 US. and so a pack of three is a month's supply. So yeah, it can definitely get pretty pricey. This guy snags sometimes, but you know what? I work. I own my own business, and I can be on site in front of a customer and give myself insulin while talking to them, and they have no idea what just happened. So I'll take the snagging any day over that convenience, and that's it. So yeah, in terms of technology and diabetes, that's what I use to help make my management easier, and I hope this was very informative to you viewers out there. And I'd like to say thank you to Zanuck for definitely launching this YouTube series and just for everything that she's done in helping and promoting diabetes awareness, helping the Diabetes Association back home. Want to thank that association for helping me, counseling me during my initial time, when I just found out I was diabetic. And definitely want to give a shout out and a thank you to Dr. Didier, Dr. Martin Didier. He actually diagnosed my particular situation and was there helping get me through that initial understanding and yeah, just making it that much easier. So thank you guys.